How many of you brothers and sisters watched Deacon's like Don's masterpiece class, Walking with the Giants Part 3? Y'all seen it? Everybody's hands to be up. Come on. God. Come on. Got to take advantage of this, man, before YouTube shuts us down. They're on a campaign right now to shut down the Israelites. All right. So it was a great, great class. He went over history. Deacon Nathan and myself we're into history. I'm a history nut. In high school, I loved history, college history. And he brought out a lot of strong points. Hannibal, the Spartans, and so forth. Today, we're going to elaborate a little bit more on some of those men, mainly the Spartans. All right, I'm gonna elaborate a little bit more on what Deacon Aitan brought out. All right. How many of you seen the 300 movie? All right. Let's first open up with Hosea chapter 3, verse 4. Let me show you how Esau gets down. They got down the same way back then, and they doing the same thing now. Hosea 3, verse 4 first. Who's going to read for me? Officer Kanat? All right. The title of today's class is called The Lost Legends of Israel. It's probably going to be in 2 parts. More than likely, it will be in 2 parts. Lost Legends of Israel.
The book of Hosea, chapter 3 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king.
For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king. Okay? Why is that? Brother right there, stand up, say your name.
Brother David, I think it says that because we won't be a nation.
It says that what?
Because we won't be a nation until Christ comes back.
Because we won't be, well, we are a nation, but we don't have a king over us. Why? Because we're in the hand of other kings. All right? Mainly, the United States of America, where they have a president who's almost like a king. Same thing. All right? So we are not in a position of power where we can appoint our own king. That's why it's saying that. All right? Go ahead.
And without a prince.
Mm-hmm.
And without a sacrifice.
Uh-huh.
And without an image.
Mm-hmm.
And without an ephod.
So the point that I wanted is without an image. Without an image. Because you got these dumb camps, some of them, not all of them, but you got some of them that saying image is wrong. We was over there in Guyana, and I was doing a presentation, and you had a crazy Guyanese nut in the crowd that stood up and basically was saying how image is wrong, and we're showing this image of Christ to our people, and there shouldn't be no images. The Bible says no graven images, and the idiot didn't realize when the Bible's talking about images, it's talking about bowing down to it. Because did King Solomon have images?
Yes, sir.
All right, there was images. We always had images, and nobody is saying to worship the depiction of Christ that we have on our poster. If any one of you brothers start worshiping that image, check yourself. You shouldn't be bowing down to it the same way you used to bow down to Caesar Borgia. No, that's not what we're trying to portray. We're just trying to erase that white supremacist imagery that you have in your mind of Caesar Borgia to show you, no, Christ is a black man according to the Bible, according to the book of Revelation. All right, so we were without an image for a long time. Why? You had iconoclasm, right? Also known as iconoclast. And Esau, the devil that the Bible speaks of, was pushing his white supremacy throughout the whole earth to destroy our people. And he continues to do it until this day. So now they're not going around and defacing statues and portraits and images. What they're doing, they're pushing it in what? What are they using, brothers? Movies, media, okay? They're taking historical people who once existed and whitewashing them, making them lost. That's why I titled today's class, Lost Legends of Israel. Okay, let's get Job, the 9th chapter, the 24th verse.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
The earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
So the whole planet earth is given into the hand of the wicked. When it's talking about the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, it's talking about power, rulership, dominion. Okay, unto the wicked. What wicked is this making reference to? Somebody raise your hand. Don't call out. My Ephraimite brother right here in the front. What's your name again, brother?
Sir, Brother Zion.
Zion.
Tribe of Issachar.
Tribe of Issachar.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. All right. Well, that's what I meant. The whole 10 tribes.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Malachi 1 and 4.
Malachi 1 and 4. Let's get that. Let's get that. Said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Brother Zion says Malachi 1 and 4. Is he correct or is he wrong? Let's start at verse 1.
The book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Mhm.
The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel
Mhm.
by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord.
Mhm.
Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us?
Because every time we looking up, where are we? In captivity, affliction, tribulation, right? Last hired, first fired, always at the bottom. So every time we looking up, no matter if we're in Haiti, Jamaica, America, wherever we at, blacks, Hispanics, and natives are always at the bottom. Read that part again.
Verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord.
Mhm.
Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us?
Come on.
Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau.
So he hated Esau, but he loved Jacob. Past tense, in the past. He loved Jacob. Ever since when? Since Genesis. Since the book of Genesis. Come on, read.
And laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished.
Uh-huh.
We will return and build the desolate
So this
places.
was at a particular time because Edom was not impoverished when Esau first was on the earth, all right? Because they had dukes. Amalek was rich. Amalek was one of the dukes. Teman, wise and rich. Okay, this is talking about a later time period. Come on.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts,
Mm-hmm.
they shall build, but I will throw down.
Mm-hmm.
And they shall call them the
Call
border.
who? They shall call what?
Them.
Them is what? Them is plural. So it's talking about all of Edom, Esau, Idumea. Come on.
The border of wickedness.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness. Okay? The border of wickedness. Come on.
And the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
Against the people whom the Lord hath indignation forever. Forever, ever, ever, ever. That's why when you read Obadiah, what does it say about Esau? What's the latter end? Brother right there. Mhm. Name?
Brother Ezra.
Brother Ezra.
That they'll be destroyed.
That they're going to be destroyed. All right. Why? Because the Most High has an indignation for them forever. Okay. Go back to Job 9:24.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
So the earth is given into the hand of Esau. Who is that wicked? Come on.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. And how does he do that? How does he cover the faces? Officer Mike Judah.
You can go to 1 Maccabees 3:4-8, but
Very good. Let's get that. 1 Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48. For he covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen hath sought to paint the likeness of their images.
And even at that time, we had images on our scrolls, on our records. So what did the heathen do? They tried to deface those images. They tried to whitewash those images, replace it with Zeus, people from Athens, Hercules, and all those Greek, Poseidon, all those Greek mythologists. They replaced everything. They put themselves in our record book, and they continue to do that today. Go back to Job 9:24.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
Who are the judges, brothers? Somebody raise your hand. Don't call out. Who are the judges? Keziah. All right, and give me a scripture as well. Who are the judges? You can name them, and then give me the scripture.
I got a scripture on it.
All right, so who are the judges?
The rulers of this world, the 12. I want to say the 12 markets, but the people that own everything.
No. Absolutely wrong. Those are servants on the loose, not the 12 common markets. Those are your slaves. I hope you believe that. Those are your slaves that are ruling over you. Those are not the official appointed judges of the earth. Who are the judges of the earth? Brother James. I'm getting better with the names, y'all. Oh, yeah.
Shalom, Cap. Happy Sabbath.
Yes, sir.
The
Most High in Christ's
prophets.
The prophets, very good. Okay. What scripture you got to prove that?
I'm not sure.
All right. Let somebody help him. Soldier Jonathan in the front. AV team.
Shalom, shalom. The saints are the judges. 1 Corinthians 6 and 2.
Okay, read that. That's a good one. You could use that too.
1 Corinthians 6 and 2 says, Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world?
Mm-hmm.
And
So, go ahead.
if the world shall be judged by you,
Mm-hmm.
are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters?
Now, who are the saints, Keziah? Because it says the saints shall judge the world. So somebody might ask you, well, who are the saints? Is it talking about Saint Mother Teresa?
It's referring to the Israelites.
All right, what scripture?
The one.
Saints. Where would you go to show that the saints are the Israelites? Because you could just be making that up. How do I know the saints are the Israelites and not Saint John Paul II?
I don't got the one with saints, but I'll go to Amos 3.
No. Brother James again. Write this down, Keziah.
The saints is Psalms 148 and verse 14.
Very good. Write it down, y'all. Write it down. Write it down. Okay, let's read that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 148 and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
He also exalteth the horn of his people,
Mm-hmm.
the praise of all his saints,
Uh-huh.
even of the children of Israel.
Now, when it's in italics like that in your Bible, the word even is always in italics. It means indeed. It was placed there to make the verse make sense. The translators, the scholars who translated the Bible placed that there so the verse can make sense. The word even is indeed. Okay, so it says indeed of the children of Israel. Now get me Deuteronomy 16:18. Right, this is another one you can use to explain who are the judges. The one that Jonathan brought out is a good one too. All right.
Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates,
Mm-hmm.
which the Lord thy God giveth thee
Mhm.
through thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment.
So that's talking about when it says through thy tribes, it's talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. You men are the judges. That's why we come in here to learn God's laws. Because when Christ makes a second return, you men are going to be the ones that's going to be judging the whole earth. That's how Christ said, you take you a city, you take 5 cities, you take 4 cities, you take 6 cities. You got to believe that thing. I know right now, you're looking at yourself, low self-esteem. Oh, I'm nobody. I'm just a Negro here in Dallas, Texas, residing in Oak Cliff, right? Nah, Christ said, guess what? You're going to rule the whole planet Earth. We're going to enforce God's laws on these nations, and we're going to break heads if they don't want to listen. A lot of people's going to be put to death at that time, all right, by the hands of you, and it's going to be righteous. We ain't just not going to be walking around killing people like they doing us now. It's going to be righteous death sentences, okay? If they don't want to obey God's laws and the sin is worthy of death, guess what? Every single last one of them is going to be put to death, plain and simple, okay? And we ain't going to hold our sword on that day. We are not going to hesitate, all right? Go back to Job 9:24. Let's finish that up.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Mm-hmm.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
That's why in every movie, God is white, the angels are white, Christ is white, everybody's white. If it's all white, it's all right. Meanwhile, they got the Negroes, a servant in the back. Okay? But when you open up the Bible and you look at the Bible with new eyes, you see that no, God is black, Christ is black, the angels are black, the prophets are black, and this is our book. So we've been lied to. We've been lied to. Everything that the so-called white man been teaching us are lies. All right. Now get me Google's Spartan, the 300 movie. Google that real quick. 300 movie. All right, let's blow some up. Let's pick one. Pick anyone. Doesn't matter. That one right there shows a whole bunch of them. So this is how the Spartans were depicted in the movie 300, right? Y'all seen this movie, right? This was a bad movie though. All right, so I give the producers that. This movie was bad, and part 2 was bad. Okay, and it was history. They were going into history, the wars that they had with the Persians and the Medes. Okay, there you have Leonidas right there, who was actually a king. But look how they depict him: white and half naked. You know, Esau in his movies, he always got to show a nipple. Always got to show a nipple or two in his movies because he's a freak. Okay, but we're gonna see today that the warriors did not dress like that. Okay, and I know some of the sisters got excited when they seen this movie. I know Brad Pitt ain't up there, but I know they got excited from the abs and all of that. But guess what? The warriors of the Most High God, we weren't running around half naked like this. The only times when we were without clothing or on the run was when we were nomads and the colonizers came in and it was pushing us out. But whatever land we were in and we had some kind of power, we wasn't running around butt naked like that. All right. So this is how they show us, how they showed the Spartans. All right. So here we have Frank Miller's book. This is the actual comic book where they got the idea from the movie. All right. First, we're going to put this image up. Somebody do me the honors, please. Nope, not you, Caleb. I don't want you to mess up the camera. Keziah will do it. All right. Hold it up for them so people can see. So it gets on that. So it gets on the camera. I want to show the braids and then show the audience. I didn't get the picture. Should I snapshot it and send it to you? All right. So put that. Is that on camera? You got it? You got the braids? Show the crowd, and then I'm going to snapshot it and send it to them. So they don't think I made this up and I'm lying. All right? Show the brothers too. I know the brothers love history. I don't know too many sisters that love history. I know about 15 minutes, some of y'all going to be asleep. That's what the scripture says. Learn from your husbands at home. I know you don't want to hear me. I know you don't want to hear my mouth. Some of these books that I'm going to show, I'm not going to name the title. If y'all interested, come to me after class. I'll give you the name of the book. You can get it yourself. Because I know once I mention the name, or we mention the name as a whole, Esau likes to, because they're going to watch this class. Esau is going to boost the price up on these books. So let's take a snapshot, send it to the AV team. All right. Send it to him so he could put it up there. So this is how he depicted them in his book. They had dreads, braids, okay? And you can see some of their faces, the facial features. Here, show this one. Come right back. Keziah. Come on. Look at the facial features. Look at this right here. Took the helmet off. Look at their face. All I see is Negro. Just show me the lips and the nose. I know it's a Negro. Show the, you know what picture you showing, Keziah? Point to it. You know which one I want? That one right there. Look at the schnoz on that dude. Look at that nose. You sent it to him? Jonathan, you got it? All right, show them real quick. All right, see the complexion. You see the, even if some people might say, well, it's a black and white comic book. How do you know he's black? Look at the nose, look at the lips, look at the hair. All right. So that's the snapshot right there so everybody could see it. Look at the braids. Now we're going to send you another snapshot. Keziah, come back real quick. I'll snapshot it. It's going to take too long to show everybody. We'll just put it up. Okay. Now we had a shield like this in here, right? For sons of Jacob. Where is it? We still got it? Is it in that office? If you got it, bring it out. So who knows what this shield represents? So that means you weren't paying attention to the deacon's class. See, I knew it was a necessity for me to elaborate a little bit more. Yeah, bring it to the front, because we have this here. We have this here. Yeah, put it in front of let everybody see. Put it in front of the camera first. Okay, get a good shot. Now I'll show it to everybody. Who know what this represents? Is it a boomerang? What is it? Officer Kanai.
It was the shield of the Lacedaemonians.
Yes. And what does the L, that letter, represent?
It looks like a V because it represents 50.
No, it's actually an L. It's the lambda. The Greek letter L, lambda. So for Lacedaemonian, okay, we're gonna go into that a bit. All right. Okay. Give me 1 Maccabees 12:21.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 12 and verse 21. It is found in writing that the Lacedaemonians and Jews are brethren, and that they are the stock of Abraham.
And they are the stock of Abraham. They are brothers, and they are the stock of Abraham. The Lacedaemonians is synonymous for Sparta. It's synonymous for the Spartans. When you hear the word Lacedaemonians, it's talking about the Spartans. Okay, how many of y'all understand that? How many of you are not sure? Raise a hand if you're not sure. It's cool. All right, we're going to get into that a little bit too. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 22. Now, therefore, since this is come to our knowledge, ye shall do well to write unto us of your prosperity. We do write back again to you that your cattle and goods are ours, and ours are yours. We do command, therefore, our ambassadors to make report unto you on this wise.
Okay, now start at verse 20. Who was that letter written to?
Verse 20. Arius, king of the Lacedaemonians.
So this was written by Arius to our brothers, all right? Come on.
To Onias, the high priest.
To Onias, the high priest, come on.
Greeting. It is found in writing that the Lacedaemonians and Jews are brethren, and they are of the stock of Abraham.
And they are of the stock of Abraham. When you look at the works of Josephus, mentions that. Okay, and there's other historians that mentions that as well. Okay, get me the map that I sent you. I sent you a few maps. Let's look at it. Scroll through it. Wait, go back up. Okay, we can use. Get me the other one. There's another one. Oh, right there. All right, I'm gonna use this one first. Okay. So this is a map of Asia Minor in the new annotated Bible with the Apocrypha. It has it. Also, it's also in here, so you don't think I'm making stuff up. It's also in the Oxford Bible Atlas. You can find this in the Oxford Bible Atlas. All right. Now, look where Asia Minor is. Asia Minor is right there to the bottom, my bottom right, which is your bottom left, right? Or it's probably the same. I don't know. Okay, you have Ephesus, Pergamum, all right, Smyrna. These are the churches that we read about where? Revelation, the book of Revelations. You hear about the 7 churches which are in Asia Minor. Okay, we read about that. Okay, Sardis. We weren't just in Israel and Africa. A lot of people, we got to get that out of our minds. We were scattered, just like we're scattered today. You can find Negroes everywhere. Don't move the map. All right, it says Thrace. That's why they call it Thrace, Asia Minor. Okay, who was the Edomite that was ruling over Thrace, Asia Minor? Officer Kanai.
He was one of Alexander's generals, so I'm correct. It was Cassander.
Cassander ruled over Thrace, Asia Minor. Write that down if you did not have a clue. Don't look at me like you're lost. Write it down. So next time that question comes up, you won't say Donald Duck or something. All right? It was Cassander. He was one of the generals. He was one of the 4 that took over for Alexander the Freak. All right? Thrace, Asia Minor. Now, yes. Lysimachus. All right. Damn, now you're giving me wrong info. Lysimachus. You had Lysimachus, Cassander, Ptolemy and Seleucus. And who came out of Seleucus? Antiochus Epiphanes. All right. Okay. So right there at the bottom where it says Corinth, look where the church of Corinth is. Right there. We had brothers there. So what are you talking about that we only dwelt in Israel and Africa? Nah, we were scattered all over. You trying to tell me brothers didn't get on the ships and go places? We go places today. We got to get that out of our mind. When Esau says, oh, y'all, all of y'all came from Africa, that is not true. The first slave ship that came to the Americas came from where? Portugal and Spain. So don't let these Edomites lie to you, okay? Corinth, Achaia, Achaia. That was also the name of that landmass right there. So when you read about Achaia, that's what you're reading about. Look at Athens. Now look at the part that I wanted. At the bottom, Sparta, Lacedaemonian. We just read that in 1 Maccabees 12:21 that the Lacedaemonians are the stock of Abraham, the brothers to the Israelites. That landmass was also called Sparta, where we dwelled. Okay, we was all over that place. We were in Corinth, we were in Sparta, we were in Athens as well. Okay, remnants of us. Okay, and it just says Sparta. You don't see Lacedaemonian there. Okay, but I wanted to let y'all see that that's what it was called. Okay, those names were interchangeable and synonymous. All right. Get me Lacedaemonian, pull that up on Wikipedia. All right, so right there, click it. All right, it was also called Laconia. Laconia. All right, go down. All those names are interchangeable. So when you hear Laconia, when you hear Lacedaemonia, when you hear Sparta, it's making reference to the landmass. Okay, go back up. Now, put in the Wikipedia Lacedaemonian, not Demonian. So go back. Let me see. So just take out that. Take no. Take the I out. See what comes up with that. All right, come on. So our people, mainly the tribe of Dan, that's why you don't read about them in the book of Revelation. They went off into heavy idolatry. Northern Kingdom, heavy idolatry. I'm talking about heavy idolatry. It says Lacedaemonian was a mythical king of Laconia and son of Pleiad, Tygate, and Zeus in classical Greek mythology. He was a father of King Amyclus of Sparta and Queen Eurydice of Argos, with Princess Sparta, the daughter of King Eurotas. Tygate has an association with Artemis in earlier mythology. Eurotas bequeathed, never heard that word before, bequeathed the kingdom to Lacedaemonian, who then renamed the state after his wife Sparta, who also his niece. So they renamed the state after his wife Sparta. So that's where we get the name Sparta from. It comes from an actual woman. Okay, get me the scripture real quick in Psalms. You know what I want, right? They name the places after their own. Get me that. I think it's somewhere around 50 or 49. 49. Let's get that real quick. All right, Esau is not the only one. Esau is not the only one. When you conquer somewhere, I'm not going to conquer an enemy. Let's say I conquer Esau, right? I'm not going to leave, and they name that place after themselves. Guess who I'm going to name it after? I'm going to name it after us. When we get in our kingdom, that's what we're going to do. All these little names, everything is going back to the original names. Okay? So that's what conquerors do. So they named the area of the landmass Sparta. Before it was called Sparta, it was called Achaia. And it was mainly inhabited by whom? Who were the original Greeks? Officer Emmanuel. Give him the mic.
The original Greeks were the Japheths.
The Japheth. And we're going to prove that. And they were dark-skinned people. They were dark-skinned people, okay? Javin or Japheth, okay? Let's read that. Psalms.
The book of Psalms, chapter 49 and verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names.
So the first part, that's talking about Esau. He's the one that conquers and think that his house is going to rule forever. And he also calls places after their name. Hence, America from Amerigo Vespucci. All right, we know that. All right, you have Africa from Leo Scipios Africanus. But right here, it said that the Lacedaemonians, who we know are Israelites, they named the state after his wife Sparta. All right, let's get the Joshua 19:47. I'm kind of jumping the gun. I'm jumping the gun just a little, but eventually at the end of the class, you're going to see why, and it all makes sense. Joshua 19:47.
The book of Joshua, chapter 19 and verse 47. And the coast of the children of Dan went out too little for them. Therefore, the children of Dan went up to fight against Leshem and took it and smote it with the edge of the sword.
So the tribe of Dan was fierce as hell, and they knew how to fight. Come on.
And possessed it, and dwelt therein, and called Leshem Dan after the name of Dan their father.
Read that last part again.
And possessed it, and dwelt therein, and called Leshem Dan after the name of Dan their father.
So they called it Dan after the name of their father. Who knows why I'm bringing that up? Who can put the pieces of the puzzle together? Who can foresee why I'm mentioning Dan? Brother Ezra.
To show that when Israel conquered nations, they also changed the names of the land.
Okay, what else?
That's all I got.
Okay, eventually y'all going to see why. So now we're going to go into King Leonidas, who was actually one of the kings of Sparta. Lemuel, read that for me.
Leonidas the First, son of the lion, a son of the lion, died.
Son of the lion. Come on.
11 August 480 BC, was a warrior king of the Greek city-state of Sparta, in the 17th of the Agiad line, a dynasty which claimed descent from.
So he was the 17th of the Agiad line. So now we know that the Agiad line were Israelites. Come on.
A dynasty which claimed descent from the mythological demigod Heracles.
Heracles. I think that's supposed to be Hercules. I'm not sure. Well, go ahead.
He was the husband of Gorgo.
So that shows you these people was heavily into idolatry. They started to follow mythology, Greek mythology. They was heavy into that. Okay, the same way our people are heavy into what? Horoscopes today and all these different pagan stuff. It's no difference. Come on.
He was the husband of Gorgo, the daughter of Cleomenes, first of Sparta. Leonidas had a notable participation in the Second Persian War, where he led the allied Greek forces to a last stand at the Battle of Thermopylae, while attempting to defend the pass from the invading Persian army.
So when you watch the movie 300, remember when he got killed? Remember that? When he got killed by Artaxerxes? That was the past. That was actual history. That was truth, all right? That's when he got put to death. Go down. So look, wait. Look at that. Look at that right there. Take a good look at that statue, right? You see the plume on his head, right? Go down. So keep in mind, that's called the marble, I can't read it. I can't read it. Marble hoplite statue. So that's another name for Spartans. Write that down. Hoplite. Hoplite. Marble hoplite statue. Thought to be of Leonidas, 5th century BC, Sparta Archaeological Museum of Sparta, Greece. Go down. Let me see. Is there more on that? Anything worth bringing out? Click on life. Let's see what happened. Now, Herodotus, he has a lot of books. If y'all could get some books from him, it goes into a lot of history. And Esau don't expect us to read those things. Go down. Let me see. All right. Y'all could read this on your own if y'all interested in in this. So look right there where it says he made one unsuccessful attempt to set up a colony in Africa. So what were the Spartans trying to do in Africa? Same people, right there. Look what it says. All right. Cross this out. Take it out. Okay, who can find Greece? You see it? Y'all see Greece? Has all the nations. Shows you where Ham was at. Shows you where Elam was at, right? Y'all see it? Okay. So what was that area called where I just showed you Sparta and Lacedaemonian? Huh? You're not looking at the map. Use the words on the map. That's why it's there. Oh, Jesus. Come on, guys. Look at the map, right? Thank you. Javan comes from who? Japheth. Okay, so that landmass had Javan there. Javan was there. Okay, those were the original inhabitants of Greece, not Esau, not the so-called white man. All right, but it was Javan, who are the modern day what? Polynesians, the Minoans, right? They make up a lot of the islands in the Pacific. You even have an island in the Pacific Ocean called the Javan, right? Some of them mixed with the Persians and the Medes later on. Madai, okay. You said who? And the Samoans as well. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that right there. It says Javan, okay? The descendants of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Okay, take that down. Give me Ezekiel 27. Let's read 17 through 19. So during the reign of King Solomon, he had a lot of ships. He had a lot of ships going to and fro to travel, to bring back spices, to bring back food, to bring back gold, silver, and so forth. Rich, expensive stuff. Okay, King Solomon had a fleet of ships that would go outside of Jerusalem, get the spoils, get the riches, and bring it back to Jerusalem. Let's get Ezekiel 27, 17 to 19.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 27 and verse 17. Judah and the land of Israel, they were thy merchants, and traded in thy market wheat of Minnith and Panag, and honey and oil and balm. Damascus was thy merchant in the multitude of the wares of thy making, for the multitude of all riches, in wine of Hebron and white wool. Dan also, and Javan going.
Dan and who?
And Javan.
Dan and Javan, come on.
Going to and fro, occupied in thy fairs, brought iron, cassia.
Bright iron.
Bright iron, cassia, and calamus were in thy market.
Mm-hmm.
Dan was thy merchant in precious clothes for chariots.
Okay, so it says Dan also and Javan. Why does it say Dan also and Javan? I just showed you Javan inhabited Greece, right? Why now? What does it say? Now we're talking about ships. We're talking about going to and fro, right? Why does it say Dan also and Javan? Officer Yakub.
Shalom, Cap. Because Dan was in that land, was in that area.
Dan was traveling to that land, to and fro, going to go get what? Bright iron, cassia, which we went over in the last class I did, which was a herb, right? And calamus were in thy market. Those things you could find in Greece. So Solomon was like, you go over there, go to the land of Javan, go get their resources and bring it back to Jerusalem. That's what was going on. Okay? Get me what I pulled up about the Sparta. Okay. So this is from a book that I have. You come after class, I'll give you the name of the book. This is from, I'm horrible in Roman numerals. What is that? A 5. Okay, thank you. Chapter 5, Sparta and Athens, Greek colonization, Sparta, the 3 classes. You want to read that?
The 3 classes. Anyone who has a strong athletic body and who can suffer hardships without complaining.
Who does that sound like? Who does that sound like? Just the first, I'm telling you, just the first sentence alone, that sounds like us. Strong athletic body who can suffer hardships without complaining. Come on.
Is often called a Spartan.
Mm-hmm.
The word has come down to us from ancient Greece and from the most renowned people of Greece, except the Athenians, to be noticed later.
Mm-hmm.
The mythical founder of Sparta was Lacedaemon, whose wife's name was Sparta.
Mm-hmm.
The town was known by both names.
That's why I showed you the map. It said Lacedaemon and Sparta. Come on.
Sparta, or Lacedaemon, was a small city on the banks of the little river Eurotas,
Mm-hmm.
which winds among the mountains,
Which wins.
which wins among the mountains of Laconia.
It's also called Laconia. Come on.
Here and there along the river lies a green valley,
Mm-hmm.
and in one of these valleys, about 18 miles long and 4 or 5 miles wide, was Sparta.
Mm-hmm.
The people of this famous little city and of the surrounding country were divided into 3 classes.
So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. They were divided into 3 classes. There was a particular tribe there. We know that they're Israelites from 1 Maccabees 12:21. All right? We know that, but we haven't gone into what tribes they are, right? They were divided into 3 classes. Just like today, you have the bourgeoisie elite of our people. You got the middle class and you got the low class. And then within those 3 people were divided. Even in our politics, we're divided. In religion, we're divided. So the Spartans were divided by class. And we're going to read it. Come on.
The Spartans proper, who had complete control of the government. The Spartans capable of bearing arms numbered only about 6,000 at any one time.
Hmm.
The Periosi, those who live around.
So the Periosi are those who lived around Sparta on the outskirts. Come on.
The middle class.
Mm-hmm.
They occupied 100 villages scattered among the mountains. They were merchants, manufacturers, and sailors,
Mm-hmm.
and were subject to the Spartans.
So you had the middle class who was subject to the Spartans. Come on.
To whom they paid heavy tribute.
And they paid them heavy tribute. Come on.
The Helots, a class of serfs. They tilled the soil, and their Spartan masters took almost all of their crops.
So we was wicked as hell during this time. We was oppressing each other, like many of us oppress each other today. Come on.
The Helots outnumbered the Spartans 10-1, but were not permitted to keep arms and were powerless against their cruel masters. On several occasions, the Helots and Periosi rose against the Spartans, but were always put down and cruelly punished for their rebellion.
Okay, go down. There's another one. Okay, let's get this one. Go up. Okay.
The Spartan warrior. The Spartan was a soldier and only a soldier.
So this was their job. They were what? They were addicted to their job. The same way the scripture says what? To be addicted to this ministry. Some of y'all ain't rolling like y'all addicted to this ministry. Give me that scripture real quick. If you find it, call it. Yeah, let's get that. So they were addicted to their job. 16:15.
1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 15. I beseech you, brethren, ye know the house of Stephanus, that it is the first fruits of Achaia,
Mm-hmm.
and that they have addicted themselves to the ministry of the saints.
So we want to hear brothers complaining about fly emissions, complaining about this, complaining about that. Oh, it's too hot outside. Let me stand in the sun. Come on. I mean, not in the sun, in the shade. All right? We supposed to what? Be addicted to this thing the same way these brothers were addicted to being a soldier. All they knew was the life of a soldier. That's why in the movie, remember that part where King Leonidas said, he turned around and said, hey, what do you do for a living? And then there was an army of men that came to help. Remember that? I don't know if y'all recall that. And he said, what do you do for a living? He was like, I'm a carpenter, sir. What do you do for a living? I'm a cook, sir. And then he turned to his men. He said, what do you do for a living? And it was like, ahoo! All they knew was war. All they knew was war. Okay? Come on, go ahead.
His helots and his slaves earned his bread and did all his work. The state claimed all his time. When not at war, he drilled and prepared for war.
So when there was no war, he was preparing for war. That's what we tell you brothers to study. Because the time is going to come, and guess what? You're going to be tested. We don't want to see none of you guys confounded. You're going to be called upon to travel, to do the work, all right, to study. Don't just come here, learn today on the Sabbath, scriptures come out, tomorrow no scriptures, and then when your trial and tribulation come or your temptation come, oh, I don't know how to overcome. Okay, come on.
He exercised himself by running, leaping, throwing the javelin, and wielding his arms. Every day, he exercised all his muscles.
All his muscle, not just his biceps, everything. All his muscles, come on.
The Spartans sought physical perfection and attained it as no other people ever did.
And we're supposed to seek what? Spiritual perfection. That's why the scripture says what? Exercise profiteth little. It didn't say nothing. Of course, you're supposed to work out. Some of y'all wait until you get a damn disease to work out. You wait until, some of you brothers, you wait until the doctor tells you you got diabetes, high blood pressure, this and that. Now you have a zeal to work out. But prior to that, you will almost becoming 400, 500, 600 pounds, a little big pun, and you ain't want to do nothing. Now the doctor tells you you have a disease. Now you want to run to the gym. So it took the white man had to encourage you to work out. The Bible says exercise profiteth little. But we want to obtain spiritual perfection the way these brothers was trying to obtain physical perfection. Come on.
The Spartan remained in training to the age of 60, and he could not leave his country without permission from the state. One way Sparta had of keeping its people at home was to make money of iron. The coins were so large and heavy.
It's telling you right there that they had iron there. Remember, where did we just read about that? What did we just read about that? The Spartans was making money of iron. Where? Ezekiel 27, it tells you Javan. Dan went to Javan for what? And came back with bright of iron. Right there is letting you know that was one of the resources there in Sparta. Come on.
The coins were so large and heavy that no one could afford to travel.
Come on.
The Spartans were taught never to turn their backs to the enemy in battle. They spoke in the most terse, direct manner.
Austere. Come on.
And to this day, we speak of direct, short sentences as laconic, from Laconia, the land of which Sparta was the capital.
So they would direct, right? In the multitude of word lacketh not sin, they would direct. And they told it to you bold to your face. Even the woman. That's why in the movie, remember what his wife said to the ambassador? Most countries, a woman can't even speak like that. She told him straight and direct about how Spartan get downs and how Spartan women get down. And the ambassador, the brother, was like, what the hell is this? You let your wife talk to you? He felt disrespected. And what happened? Because he was mouthing off, he got kicked right into a never-ending well. All right, go ahead.
Every Spartan citizen had a wife. The law forced him to marry.
So the law forced him to marry. He was not a eunuch. All right, he wasn't somewhere beating off. He had a wife. Come on.
But he did not live at home. He ate and slept with his comrades.
Because they were always training for war. So he wasn't playing house with his wife. He was with the comrades. Okay, he wanted to be with the brothers. Go to war, not up under his wife. My wife said this, my wife said that. Let me ask my wife for permission if I can travel. Ask the brother, hey, you come, well, I need you for a week. Or I need you for 3 days. Hold up, but my wife won't let me. Like, what the hell? She said, I didn't make up the bed yet.
Oh, God.
Go ahead. Come on.
Visiting his family only occasionally. The women were free to do as they liked in managing the household.
And the women were free to do as they liked in managing the household, right? Decorate the household, raise the children, do as they please in the house. Come on.
When the Spartans went into battle, they formed themselves into a solid mass called a phalanx. Phalanx.
That's what you see in the movie when they were joined in hand, like real close with the shield up, right? And then they would thrust with the spear in whatever opening. They would let the enemy come and try to ram them, get tired. And then once they sense fatigue in the enemy, they would what? Thrust them through. Come on.
They stood shoulder to shoulder in lines 8 deep or more. The king would sacrifice a goat and begin to sing a war song.
What does that sound like? Huh? Sound like Israel, right? Why? Because they are Israel. That's why it sounds like Israel, because they are Israel. Remember what we read in 1 Maccabees 12, the stock of Abraham. When King Onias wrote the letter, to our, who's the forefather that he wrote to? It was one of the Maccabees, brother. Who was that? Eleazar? I think it was Eleazar at that time. All right. He was addressing Eleazar and Onias, the high priest. Okay. It says the king would sacrifice a goat and begin to sing a war song. Go ahead.
The soldiers would then join in singing. The flute player would begin.
And we always sung. That's what the book of Psalms was about. Always sing war tunes. That's what we do now with the cadences. Okay. That we have now. That we teach you brothers in Camp 101. Mighty men of valor. Come on.
The flute player would begin his piping, and the mass of men, keeping step with the music, would rush fiercely upon the enemy. Every soldier had been trained from childhood.
So every soldier had been trained from childhood.
And everyone was an athlete. Seldom were the Spartans defeated in battle.
It says seldom were they defeated in battle. Come on.
The Spartan boy and girl. When a child was born in Sparta, it was taken before a council of old men. If they found it imperfect in body, it was exposed in a mountain glen to die.
Damn. You hear that? That sounds harsh to some of y'all, right? That sounds harsh. Let me ask you something. Do you think the Most High, did something similar? Did he? Yes or no? Don't just say yes. Give me a scripture. Brother right there, you should get right there from Shreveport. Brother, what's his name? Ezra from Shreveport. Give me a scripture too. It said if you were found imperfect in, but the Spartan took it overboard. They left you to die in the wilderness, right? If you were found imperfect, right?
Long leadership.
Hmm?
Yeah, I was thinking of Abraham when he sacrificed his son on the mountain.
No.
What you talking about?
Nope. We're talking about imperfection in the physical appearance. Zion, right? Killian. Oh. Killian.
Shalom. They weren't able to go to the temple.
Very good. Where can you get that scripture?
I'm
Who knows the scripture? Officer Emmanuel? Huh? Officer Mike Judah. Let's get that.
Leviticus 21, 17. You can start at 16.
Leviticus chapter 21, verse 16. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron, saying, Whosoever he be of thy seed in their generations that hath any blemish, let him not approach to offer the bread of his God.
So whoever had any blemish, you could not be a high priest, a priest, or nothing. All right, what are some of the blemishes that the Most High God was talking about? Was it talking about sin, or was it talking about something physical? Yakub.
One of them was if your nose was crooked.
Yeah, we're gonna read it. Don't do it. He's gonna expound on it. But was it physical or spiritual?
Oh, it was physical.
All right, let's read it.
For whatsoever man he be that hath a blemish, he shall not approach. A blind man or a lame.
So if you were blind or lame, we know what a lame is, right? Could not approach. Come on.
Or he that hath a flat nose.
Yeah, flat nose. Some of y'all got flat noses. I think my nose is flat, somewhat flat. I don't know. I don't know if people consider this a flat nose. We say you had a flat nose, you could not approach. Come on.
Or anything superfluous. Or a man that is
super. Let me see that word. Superfluous. Superfluous. What does that mean? Like a double chin or an extra finger. So we seen people with double chins. Guess what? You couldn't approach. You got an extra finger, extra toe, or extra anything. Nah, the Most High's like, nah, please stay back. You fall back. All right, go ahead.
Or a man that is broken-footed or broken-handed.
So you had a broken foot or broken-handed, like a paraplegic or whatever they call them. Guess what? Nah, couldn't approach. Come on.
Or crook-backed or a dwarf.
Or crook-back or dwarf. Now, what are the criteria for a dwarf? If it's like what, 2 feet?
Yeah, 2, 3 feet.
Some brothers still, when we go to Great Adventures, they still got to put them on the line to see if they get on. So the Most High God said, nah, man, if you a dwarf, I'm sorry. You gotta fall back, man, little man. Just fall back. All right, go ahead.
Or that hath a blemish in his eye, or be scurvy,
if you have a blemish in your eye, like who had that? Biggie Smalls with the lazy eye or cross-eyed. Or if you be what? Scurvy?
Scurvy.
What's scurvy? Oh, curvage of the back, right? What do they call that again? There's a medical term for that. Not scoliosis. Okay,
Bones are
so is
malformed.
that the one where sometimes your spine will make a S? Okay, all right. Okay, go ahead.
Or crook back, or scabbed, or hath his
Scabbed. What is that? What is scabbed? A skin problem, skin issues. Where your skin is falling apart. Whether it be those bumps, couldn't approach, or what else?
Eczema.
Eczema,
yeah.
which is prominent now amongst blacks, right? Okay, God said no. You had acne, or acne might have been scab back then. You got little pimples, now fall back. All right, you had to be perfect. You had to be ruddy, perfectly ruddy. Come on,
or hath his stones broken,
or have your balls broken. You got no nuts, or they just broken. They don't work, or I don't know. Maybe they not just the recommendation. They don't fit the criteria of what the Most High want. You got your stones broken. You couldn't do it. Okay, hey, obviously, Emmanuel. Hey, the Most High got a sense of humor, man.
Shalom. So all the stuff you read is the stuff they call in medical terms, Down syndrome, Patel syndrome, all those stuff. That's what you just read now.
So that's why Moab would never go through. You sit your behinds out there. You go over there, you just wash those pots for me, and that's it. So, hey, it's crazy, man. The Most High, I'm telling you, we have not learned about the Most High at all. Okay, is there more on that?
Verse 21, last verse. No man that hath a blemish of the seed of Aaron, the priest, shall come nigh to offer the offerings of the Lord made by fire.
So you cannot be a high priest if you had any of those things. You had to be perfect. So Eleazar was perfect, which was one of the sons of Aaron. Now, I want to show y'all something. Let me get this video first, since we're on blemishes. Okay. Copy link. Hopefully we can still find it. I'm going to send you a video. Should I send it to the AV team or your phone? All right. AV team. 1 second. 1 second. Talk.
All praise to the Most High. Happy Sabbath. Sabbath day, so all praises for that. It's good. Yeah, go ahead, Brother James. Come on, help me out.
All praises. Happy Sabbath. Is that saying also that Moses would be considered perfect in physically?
There's the book of Josephus said that when Moses was born, when he was a baby, everybody wanted to look at him because he was so handsome. He was a handsome young baby. You know how some babies are just so adorable? And y'all can't front. Y'all seen some ugly babies before. Not every baby's cute. You know? You go, oh, wow, look at you. Look, if you don't want to offend a person, just say, oh, look at you. Look at you. Oh, that's so nice. You don't got to say, oh, he's so cute. And then be in the back of your head, you're like, oh, my God. Okay? Because the Most High is direct. He's direct. That's why he said, look, if you possess all of those things, don't even think about coming here. Okay, in the book of Josephus, it says that. It says Moses was adorable. He was people would stop. They would be walking somewhere, they'll stop just to look at him. Okay? Give me this video since we're going on talking about imperfection. This video is funny as hell. All right. This thing is funny as hell. Put the volume on. Go back to the beginning. No. You need the volume. Come on. Don't be messing stuff up. Play the volume. So hold on. Go back. Do it again. Play it in the beginning, all the way back. The brother said, hey man, I ain't never seen a baby this ugly. We know some of y'all seen some ugly babies. We got nurses in here, right? I know at the hospital, y'all see some hideous babies. All right? Y'all gotta keep it real. Come on. Hold on, go ahead and I'll let it play. He couldn't help. Hey, the baby looked at him as soon as he laughed. He couldn't hold it. You know how sometimes you want to, you're trying to hold the laugh, and sometimes it's just worse. You might as well laugh because you try to hold it in, you might end up farting while you laughing, pass out. Hey, do that part or play that part again. Play that part again, that last part. Play that part again. So, man, if your baby looked like this back during the time of the temple, guess what? During the time of Aaron and sacrificing, you couldn't be a high priest if you was giving birth to creatures like this. All right, go back. Oh, go ahead. Oh, man. Hey. Oh, man, the Most High, man. The Most High, man, I'm telling you, the Most High would just do stuff just for laughter, just for jokes. All right, go back to that article we were reading. Okay, read it again.
When a child was born in Sparta, it was taken before a council of old men. If they found it imperfect in body, it was exposed in a mountain glen to die. If found perfect, it was given back to its mother, who kept it till it was 7 years of age. At the age of 7, a boy was taken from his mother and put, along with other boys, under the training of an army officer.
So these young men were turned into soldiers. It was just sitting up under the mom all the time. All right, and that's what we got to do as fathers. For you men in here that have sons, take them under you. Stop leaving the little boys with the mom all the time. We know sometimes, but not all the time. Train them up. Take them to martial arts gym. Teach them how to, defend themselves. Okay, come on. And most importantly, teach them the scriptures. Come on.
Here they were drilled in everything that would make them hardy warriors. They went barefoot winter and summer, bathed in the cold Eurytus.
Why did they go barefoot winter and summer? Somebody explain that. Officer Mike Judah.
It was preparation to be able to endure any condition.
Exactly. Also, it builds up what? Those calluses under your feet. It becomes hard as hell. You don't feel nothing. Remember the movie Shaka Zulu? How many of y'all remember that? Remember those coals of fire that he walked on? And he'd even flinch. He didn't cry. He didn't flinch. Nothing. His facial features, nothing twitched or nothing. He just walked on that thing like it was nothing. The Spartans walked barefooted all the time so they could endure hardness. Come on.
They went barefoot winter and summer, bathed in the cold Eurytus, and slept on reeds gathered from the river bank. Sometimes they were scourged that they might become accustomed to enduring pain. And a true Spartan lad would die under the lash rather than reveal his suffering by word or look.
Damn, y'all hear that? Read that part again.
And a true Spartan lad would, let me start from the top. Sometimes they were scourged that they might become accustomed to enduring pain. And a true Spartan lad would die under the lash rather than reveal his suffering by word or look.
Come on.
All this hard training was for the purpose of making the most efficient soldiers. As a soldier was sometimes obliged to forage, the Spartan boy was taught to steal, forage. If caught, he was punished, not for stealing, but for being so stupid as to be caught.
Damn. So they didn't get punished for stealing. I'm going to punish you because you got caught. Meaning you didn't have the necessary skill of stealth not to get caught. So basically all your training went to naught. That's what they're saying. Come on.
The story is well known of the Spartan boy who had stolen a young fox, which he concealed under his cloak. The animal gnawed out his victuals, but the boy did not betray himself by look or groan. Spartan girls also were taken from their homes and trained by the state. They practiced running, throwing the javelin and the discus, and they became strong and robust. A poet says that Spartan girls at play were like colts with flowing manes, making the dust fly about them.
Come on.
The excessive physical training made Sparta for a long time the strongest military power in Greece.
And that was ran by us. Come on.
It fostered a spirit of patriotism, which became the strongest passion among the people. This is illustrated by the story of the mother who hastened to ask the soldiers returning from a campaign what was the result of the battle. She was informed that all her 5 sons had perished.
Damn. So this mother said that the people came back from war. And she said, what was the result of the war? The people told her, all of my sons, all of the sons died. Look what she said. Let's say if she cried and almost gave up the ghost and became weak in the knees. This is the aspiration that we're trying to get our sisters in here to get when dealing with their children. Come on.
This is not what I wish to know.
So she said, this is not what I wish to know, because no parent wants to hear the death of their child. But did she sob?
Did Sparta win?
Did what?
Did Sparta win?
Did Israel win?
Yes.
Yes. Come on.
Then let us give thanks to the gods.
That's it. And then say she was weeping and moaning and crying and hooting and hollering. She said, give thanks to God. Okay? And where did we read about that? You have in the book of Maccabees, right? With the mother and her 7 sons. Right? It was 7, right? 7 sons. They all got put to death in front of her. And what did she do? She cursed Esau out and told him, don't worry. Because guess what? You're going to come back through the regeneration. I'm going to see you again. Of course, she was hurting inside, but she didn't want to what? Seem weak in front of her child. Okay? Because the enemies sense weakness. They can sense weakness. Was that it on that? Or was there more? That's it? Remember I showed you the hopolite? Pictures of the hopolite? Remember that? I said, remember that word? Okay. Go to the pictures. I'm sorry, not yet. Don't get Wikipedia yet. Go to the pictures that I sent you. See, scroll past. Keep going up. Or go down. Down. Slowly. Down. Down right here. Let's get some of these. All right, we're gonna scroll through this, but at the same time, what I want you to do is go on Wikipedia and type in Spartan art. Spartan art. Or ancient Spartan art. That'll be better. Ancient Spartan art. So this is some imagery here. Okay, from ancient Greece. Can you blow that up? All right, go up. I want everybody to see it. Minimize. Okay. Read that.
Whites have said that the black figures did not indicate skin color. Thus, blacks.
Of course, same thing like they do in the book of Job, where it says, my skin is black unto the ground. They'll say that's condition. Where Job says his skin. Come on.
But rather was just a style and a function of the materials used in the manufacturing process.
So it's just a style, they're saying. They're saying that this is just a style. It doesn't mean black people. Come on.
When it is pointed out that there are white painted figures on the pottery, they respond that the convention of those times was to paint females white. When it is pointed out that there are some vases with black men and white men fighting, they respond that those are female warriors, usually at Atlanta, Amazons, or some such. Exactly how these rather convenient identifications are made is unknown, as the figures mostly appear to be men. When it is pointed out that there are some vases with bearded white men, see Titus and his mean vase below, they usually stop lying.
And usually stop lying is not even that. They always lie. Even when they say they stop lying, it's a damn lie. All right? Look, it says archaic Greek pottery with what appears to be an attempt to lighten the skin of the females. This is where the whitewashing began, right? Y'all see it? Okay, go down. So here, you have 2 black men, okay? 2 black men. And a lot of Greek art, they always show them naked, all right? So you have 2 black men and you have a white woman behind him. Should that white woman be there? How do you know? How do you know? Don't let me tell you. How do you know that that is not an Edomite? It's like finding Waldo in the back of the Cheerios, the box, cereal box. Look closely, Brother James.
It looks like her right. It looks like her right foot is black.
Right foot is black, but what they did, you can't tell if that's the guy in the middle or her. Hers in the back is black. And then they put that little white ball there at the bottom. Move the cursor to the left. Right there. They put that there to block it. So that's the hatred of these people. To destroy us, cut them off from being a nation, cut off their inheritance, everything. Now go up. Go to her hand, her extended hand. No, her other hand, extended. Look at that. Black. They forgot about that, the idiots. But look at her arm. Look at that. White, right? And look at that. Look at the edge right there. A little bit of chocolate right there. They can't go throughout all the earth and redo everything. It's impossible. Look at that. You can see that they didn't finish the job. Look at her chin. Look at that. They left a little chocolate there too. Okay? All right, go down. Is there more? Those are the only two I put up? Get me those. All right. I was going to bring this out later, but might as well bring it out now. Greek Attic black figure vase depicting Achilles. Who's Achilles, y'all? Remember Achilles? What was he? Achilles and who? Ajax, playing dice as Athena looks on. Athena has obviously been altered to appear as a white female. Note the tip of her left hand. They forgot that part. It's the same thing they do on the walls. They trying to do on the walls of Egypt everywhere, right? Okay, take this out. Huh? You got it? Nice. Let's play that real quick before we lose a thought. So the purpose of the video, remember when we were showing you Israelite practices amongst, go back. Okay.
Military action. The courier.
So this is about Sparta. Look, right there. Look, they already started. What did he get? They could have got a black actor for that. They went and got a white one. Come on.
The Spartans responded that they were involved in a very important religious festival, and for a religious taboo, they had to wait until the new moon before they could undertake any form of military action.
Stop. Went over a lot of people's heads. Go back.
Military action.
Go back. A little bit more. Let everybody, let the thought sink in. When is the new moon, y'all?
The response
is disappointing. Oh, moon. Let's hear what they said. Come on.
The Spartans responded that they were involved in a very important religious festival, and for a religious taboo, they had to wait.
Religious festival based on what? Based on new moon. The new moon. The new moon tells us when our high holy days are, right? Come on.
They had to wait until the new moon before they could undertake any.
Now, according to science today and Esau's ideologies, is that a new moon? So why would the white man in his magnificent mind of his, why would he put a full moon as the new, and then say new moon, when he could have just left just black? Why would he put that there? Officer Yaku.
To test who's woke, to test who really knows what they're showing you.
To see who's woke. Letting his people know, his superiors know, his scholars in his society know that that's really the new moon. Okay? Because it'd have been nothing just to leave it black. Okay? Play that again.
The courier, Philippides, runs 150 miles in 2 days to deliver the message to Sparta. The response is disappointing. The Spartans responded that they were involved in a very important religious festival, and for a religious taboo, they had to wait until the new moon before they could undertake any form of military action.
And Achilles was a Spartan. Okay, and it shows him as a black man on that vase. Okay, so now we have Achilles, that movie that they made with Brad Pitt. Guess what? They could have chose somebody else. What's that dude from England that all the women like? Idris Elba. They could have had him, but no. The white man be the devil that he is. He went and got Brad Pitt to play Achilles. But according to that art, pull that picture up again. Stay on that screen. Look at that. Achilles and Ajax playing dice. Who plays dice? Come on. Stop it. Come on. Brothers playing CeeLo on the corner. Who plays dice? Us. Our people. Officer Kanat.
Something I see interesting is that, remember you said a second ago that they said that the women were painted white and the men were painted black. Now, isn't that a white man behind them right there?
Oh, that's supposed to be, well, no, that's supposed to be Athena, the goddess Athena, supposedly.
Okay,
but the goddess Athena was originally painted black.
Wow.
Okay, that's where you see her fingertip. That's what was all in a whole bunch of idolatry. And what happened is when Esau took power over that region, he started following those same gods. Okay? And I'm pretty sure they had other names as well. But you see Achilles and Ajax, black, playing dice, playing CeeLo, chilling. Bam. Okay. All right. There's another one that I send you. Go right there. No. Right there. Remember we read about Leonidas being a hoplite? Remember we read that, brothers? Okay, blow this up. Let's go up. Go up. The hoplite. Read that.
A hoplite was a citizen soldier of the ancient Greek city-states. Hoplites were primarily armed as spearmen and fought in a phalanx formation. The word hoplite derives from hoplon, the type of the shield used by the soldiers. Although as a word, hopla could also denote weapons held or even full armament. In later texts, the term hoplite is used to denote any armored infantry, regardless of armament or ethnicity. A hoplite was primarily a free citizen who was usually individually responsible for procuring his armor and weapon. They were expected to take part in any military campaign when they were called for duty. The Lacedaemonian citizens, Spartans.
Oh, there we go again. The Lacedaemonian citizens, Spartans. Come on.
Were renowned for their lifelong combat training and almost mythical military prowess. While the greatest adversaries, the Athenians, were exempted from service after the 60th year of their lives.
Go down. So what do you see here? What do you see here? Look at the whitewashing, brothers. Look at that. You have a hoplite warrior, Spartan. You have the plume, right, that they used to wear on the helmet. And look at that. Look at the whitewashing. Look at his feet. Look at his torso. Now look at his legs. All white. That's what they do. That's what Esau does. And that's a statue of a hoplite right there. Did you, well, no, we'll get that later. All right, take that down. Take that down. Go to what I asked you for on Wikipedia about the Dorians. Leonidas was also made reference to as a Dorian. Okay, go down. Let's read.
The Dorians were one of the four major ethnic groups among which the Hellenes or Greeks of classical Greece considered themselves divided, along with the Aliens, Achaeans, and Ionians. They are almost always referred to as just the Dorians, as they are called in the earliest literary mention of them in the Odyssey, where they already can be found inhabiting the island of Crete. They were diverse in way of life and social organization, varying from the populous trade center of the city of Corinth, known for its ornate style in art and architecture.
See, it says varying from the populous trade center of the city of Corinth. Come on. That's where the church of Corinth was located. Come on.
To the isolationists military state of Sparta.
And so the Dorians was also there as well in Sparta. Come on.
And yet, all Hellenes knew which localities were Dorian and which were not. Dorian states at war could more likely, but not always, count on the assistance of other Dorian states. Dorians were distinguished by the Doric Greek dialect and by characteristic social and historical traditions.
Go down. All right. Go down a little bit more. Let's see if I want anything else. Down. Down. Anything more? Wait, okay. I'm gonna send you something.
Yeah, get Job 8 and 8. Because us being able to go over this history is what the scripture mentions about seeking out our fathers. Job chapter 8, verse 8.
The book of Job, chapter 8 and verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to search of their fathers.
And prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. Us being able to go over this history should give us another level of faith and another level of zeal, knowing that, our forefathers who, they get movies made about them, 300, Troy, so on and so forth. The things that they was doing even back then are the same things we doing in 2019. When we going out in camp formation, we're going out and we're singing war songs. Those are the same things that our forefathers are doing. There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. So we should have a whole nother level of zeal, another level of faith to be able to go out and say, you know what? I'm walking in the same shoes and in the same footsteps that my forefathers walked in with the application of God's laws. We know they was in idolatry, so on and so forth. But the same spirit, the same warlike spirit that our forefathers had is the same warlike spirit that we got to build ourselves up to today.
The book of Exodus, chapter 15 and verse 3. The Lord is a man of war.
God said in the scriptures, the Lord is a man of war. And so again, with us walking after our forefathers is the same spirit that our God has. There was no other nation on the face of the earth that could war like what we're reading right now, like the Spartans. It said it's rare that we lost the war physically. For us today, spiritually, we ain't losing this war. Spiritually, we are not losing this war. There's no loss for the Israelites. There's no loss for us that are applying God's commandments. Was that it on that?
The Lord is his name.
The Lord is his name. Corinthians, weapons of our warfare.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10 and verse 4. For the
Start at verse 3.
Verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh.
For though we walk in this physical flesh, you can sit up and think you finna pump iron like a Spartan or whatever. You finna walk through hot coals and you finna take your boots off and walk out there on that concrete or whatever and try to build up the callus on your feet and all that stuff. That's not what the scriptures is talking about. Read.
For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war flesh.
We don't war physically like our forefathers did, the Spartans. Read.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
Because we're not fighting with physical weapons. We're not fighting with spears and shields and stuff like that right now. Come on.
But mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imagination, and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ.
Right now, we fight with spiritual weapons. We fight with a spiritual shield, spiritual buckler, spiritual sword, spiritual shield. Where is that? Helmet of faith.
Ephesians chapter.
Ephesians. 6 and 11. Hey, start at verse 10. Let me see if brothers in the spirit. Start at verse 10.
Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and the...
Hold on. We're doing a class about the Spartans, the warlike, mighty men, going to war since 7 years old, and brothers, in the power of his might. In the power of his might. Officer, can you read it again, please?
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His what? His what? His what? His what?
All praise to the Most High. Read.
Put on the whole armor of God.
Put on the whole armor of God. The whole armor for us today, that's what I said, it's not a physical shield. It's not a physical sword. It's the scriptures. It's the commandment. Come on.
That ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
That you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Okay. I just sent it to you. Let's get page, one second. Page 48. What did I send you? No, the other one. Let's get that one first. All right. So it's entitled, this is section, help me out here, Roman numerals again.
Section 9.
Section 9. All right. Dan traced from Palestine to Britain and Ireland. Dan shall be a serpent's trail, blah, 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 blah. Go down. This thing got bones in it, by the way. The point that I want. Let's start at verse 3. No, verse 2.
Number 2.
Actually, no, start at verse 1. Just read it.
Dan shall be a serpent by the way. Is better translated. Dan shall be a serpent's trail. And so be a notable means whereby lost Israel should be ultimately identified.
So the scholars understand they use Genesis 49, use Deuteronomy 33 to know, and of course, 2nd Esdras and so forth, to know the identification of where Israel will be in the latter days. Come on.
Colonel Gawler says, it is worthy of note that Danius, who is recorded as landing in Greece from Egypt, was said to be the son of Belus, sometimes spelt Bela, which strongly resembles Bilhah, the name of Jacob's concubine, the mother of Dan.
Come on.
Number 3. Thank you. Genesis 30, verse 4 through 6. Dr. William Smith, in his History of Greece, page 18, says, of all the heroic families in Greece, none were more heroic than that of the Danans of Argos.
So the Danans of Argos was in Greece. What were they doing there? Brothers, what happened? Huh? Trade, all right? Remember, some of Javan was still there, but eventually they got pushed out. Come on.
The Dorians of Greece crossed from Asia Minor and Western Asia into ancient Appia, Messenia, and Sparta. These Dorians were Danites and men of Judah of the line of Darda.
These Dorians were Danites and men of Judah of the line of Darda. Okay? Of the line of Darda. If you go into the scriptures, you'll see Darda coming from the line of Judah. These Dorians were Danites. From what tribe? Dan. That's why I told you. Remember I told you before. Keep that in mind, Dan. All right, I didn't want to jump the gun, but this is why. All right, come on.
Hence, the wonderful Doric structures of Europe came largely from the skilled minds of the master masons and mechanics of the Danites.
And it tells you right there, 2nd Chronicles. What's that? 2nd Chronicles what? Let's see what it says, because I didn't look that up. Let's see. Let's get that. Let's see what it says.
2nd Chronicles chapter 2, verse 13. And now I have sent a cunning man endued with understanding of Hiram, my father's, the son of a woman of the daughters of Dan. And his father was a man of Tyre, skillful to work.
Meaning he dwelt, they were also called Phoenicians, but they dwelt on the coast of Tyre and Zidon when you look it up. Okay? When you look into the archaeology and the geography of where we were at in Israel, on the coast of Tyre and Zidon, Dan was there as well. Come on.
Skillful to work in gold and in silver, in brass, in iron, in stone, and in timber.
You hear that? He was skilled to work in stone and timber. Okay, come on.
In purple, in blue, and in fine linen, and in crimson.
So all of these wonderful architectures and structures you see over there in Greece at that time was built by our forefathers, especially in Sparta. Come on.
Also to grave any manner of graving, and to find out every device which shall be put to him with thy cunning men and with the cunning men of my Lord David, thy father.
All praises. Okay, continue reading. Read that again. Part 4.
The Dorians of Greece crossed from Asia Minor and Western Asia into ancient Appia, Messenia, and Sparta. These Dorians were Danites and men of Judah of the line of Darda. Hence, the wonderful Doric structures of Europe came largely from the skilled minds of the master masons and mechanics of the Danites.
Come on.
W.E. Gladstone in his
Juventus Mundi.
Juventus Mundi tells us that the name Dani is used in the Iliad 147 times.
And Iliad was an Israelite. Come on.
And he connects the Dani of Greece with the Tuatha de Danann of North Ireland.
Tuatha de Danann of North Ireland. Of North Ireland. Keep that in mind. Of North Ireland. Come on.
And this is confirmed by Irish traditions. Truth vindicated.
So that's where you get the names British, Irish, Danish, Jewish. What is that telling you? Something like, but not real. So the tribe of Dan, a majority of them, some of them dwelt in Northern Ireland, but that's going to be for another class that I'm going to do in the future, Lord willing, life lasts. Okay, get me the other part to this same book. Read that. Go up.
Highly skilled in architecture and other arts from their long residence in Greece and intercourse with the Phoenicians.
Remember, I said Phoenicians, all right? There was a lot of Israelites that were Phoenicians as well, okay? That dwelt mainly in Tyre and Zidon, that were in Carthage. That's where you get Hannibal. That's where you get Septimius Severus and so forth, okay? Skip that. Skip number 7. Read verse 8.
Centuries after the Danite came from Greece into Britain, the Lacedaemonians, a remnant of these Danites still left in Greece in BC 180, sent the following letter.
So who sent this letter? Remember, it was King who? Arius. King Arius. Come on.
First Maccabees 12 and Josephus
Antiquity
12, 6, 10 to the Jews. Arius, king of the Lacedaemonians.
We read this earlier in what? First Maccabees 12 and 21. Come on.
King of the Lacedaemonians, to Onias the high priest, sendeth greeting. It is found in writing that the Lacedaemonians and Jews are brethren, and that they are of the stock of Abraham. Now, therefore, since this is come to our knowledge, ye shall do well to write to us of your prosperity. Answer, Josephus 13, verse 8. We joyfully received the epistle and were well pleased with Demoteles and Arius, although we did not need such a demonstration, because we were well satisfied about it from the sacred writings. The seal of the letter of the Lacedaemonians is an eagle with a dragon in its claws, the symbol of Dan.
All right. Go back up. Go back all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. It mentions something. Get me that one. Okay, let's blow that up. All right, what do we have there? All right, Corinthian vase, Heracles or Hercules in the house of Eurytos. Look at the color. Look at the color, black. Down. Oh, what do we have here? The Ocean black figure, Skyphos bowl, decorated with the loom of Circe, daughter of Helios, the god of the sun, blah, 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 keeper of the golden fleece, Persis, the wife of King Minos and mother of Minotaur. King Minos, when you go into it, that goes back to the Minoans, the Minians that inhabited Greece, that inhabited Javan. Look how Javan looked. Go in. We could see how black they are from there. Go up. Look at the nose. Look at the lips. Look at the facial feature, the way the hair is. Black people. Javan was black. Javan was black. All right. Bring that out. Come back out. Okay, you could take that up, down. Let's see. Did I send you something else? Down. That's going into the Trojans. I don't want to touch on that yet. Okay. All right. So That's it on the Lacedaemonians, the Spartans. Did you find it? Yes. Well, what does it say? Danites? Yes. Let's read that. Thank you.
First Chronicles chapter 12 and verse 35. And of the Danites, expert in war.
So they were experts in war, even in Jerusalem, and they carried that same fierceness to Sparta. Okay? Now we're done with Spartans. We're done with them. Now let's get Spartacus. How many of y'all seen the latest movie? First, let's go to Wikipedia, Google, type in Spartacus. Let's see what comes up. All right. So the first couple go up. The first couple of pictures, 1, 2, 3, 4, Esau, down. Esau. Now, just recently, what did they do? So this is more whitewashing. Recently, they have a series called Spartacus where they have a black man playing Spartacus. And you know, there was a whole bunch of hate comments, right? When you read the comments about the movie, people wondering why the hell is a black man playing Spartacus? Well, we're going to show you why. Okay, and they always throw in the midst one black person. That's Esau. All right, okay. Close that out. Let's go to Spartacus on Wikipedia, which you had up before. All right.
Spartacus was a Thracian gladiator who, along with the Gauls, Crixus
was a Thracian who?
Thracian gladiator. Who, along with the Gauls, Crixus, Gannicus, Castus, and Onomius, was one of the escaped slave leaders in the Third Servile War.
All right, was one of the escaped slave leaders in the Third Servile War. Come on.
A major slave uprising against the Roman Republic.
So it says Roman Republic. Why does it say Roman Republic? Who knows? Why does it say Roman Republic? Brother James.
Because the Roman captivity was after the Greek captivity.
Okay, but why does it say Roman Republic? Officer Yakub.
Because the Roman Republic was before the power, before they came into being the kingdom, or the second name of Rome, which was the powerful Rome.
And what was the name of that?
It was either called the Roman Kingdom or the Empire or the Roman
Empire. Very good. Very good. That's what's good for you brothers to know a little bit of history. All right, let's get First Maccabees 8 and 15. So the Roman Republic, they usually would choose 2 people to rule as generals, okay? And there was like a Senate. There was like a committee set up before they became a Roman Empire. Come on.
First Maccabees chapter 8, verse 15. Moreover, how they had made for themselves a Senate house, wherein 300...
That's why it was called a republic. Just like America's really a republic, but they're trying to push us a democratic state. Or they're all one and the same, all that politic garbage. All right, come on.
Wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting always for the people, to the end they might be well ordered, in that they committed their government to one man every year.
So they committed to their government during the Roman Republic, one man every year. All right, come on.
Who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor emulation among them.
All right, now keep this on the screen, but type in Roman Republic. Oh, well, just click on the hyperlink. I think it'll take you right there. Let's see what it says. All right, read.
The Roman Republic was the era of classical Roman civilization, beginning with the overthrow of the Roman kingdom, traditionally dated to 509 BC and ending in 27 BC, with the establishment of the Roman Empire. It was during this period that Rome's control expanded from the city's immediate surroundings to hegemony over the entire Mediterranean world.
Go down, down, down. See, hold on, go back up. What's that word? Look at right there. See, overseen by a Senate, right? We just read about that. So we read, now you know where to go to find the beginning of that. All right, we just read it in First Maccabees, okay? Chapter 8. All right, right there it says Senatus Populos Romanos, the Senate and people of Rome, which was Esau. Come on down.
Right
That's
there,
something.
where it says, whilst there were elections each year,
Each year. We just read that. Go back to, keep that up there. Go back to Maccabees. We just read that.
First Maccabees 8:15. And verse 15. Moreover, how they had made for themselves a senate house wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting always for the people to the end they might be well ordered.
Verse 16.
In that they committed their government to one man every year.
Now go to this.
Whilst there were elections each year.
We just see the Bible's a real book, y'all. It's not a myth. The Bible is telling you exactly what this says. And this is telling you exactly what the Bible says. Come on.
The republic was not a democracy, but an oligarchy.
Oligarchy.
As a small number of large families called gents
monopolized
the main magistracies.
Okay, so you had small families that were in power. Okay, now go back to Spartacus. When you read about the Third Servile War, okay, Spartacus was a slave. And we know the slaves are black people, Israelites. Okay, and the slaves became gladiators. We were the gladiators. Come on.
Little is known about Spartacus beyond the events of the war, and surviving historical accounts are sometimes contradictory and may not always be reliable. However, all sources agree that he was a former gladiator and an accomplished military leader.
Come on. Go down. Read.
This rebellion, interpreted by some as an example of oppressed people fighting for their
oppressed people. I'm telling you, what I do is just look at the lingo, y'all. Oppressed people. Come on.
Fighting for their freedom against the slave-owning oligarchy.
The Romans had us in slavery. Come on.
Has provided inspiration for many political thinkers and has been featured in literature, television, and film.
Go to early life. Click on early life. Read.
The Greek essayist Plutarch describes Spartacus as a Thracian of nomadic stock.
Stop. Why does it say Thrace? Because remember, Thrace, Asia Minor, was inhabited by whom? Who? Before Dan, who was there? Javan, right? Javan got pushed out, right? So the original people of Thrace, Asia Minor, was Javan. Now it says Thracian of nomadic stock. What does that mean? What does the word nomad mean? Officer Emmanuel.
Migration.
Migration. And we was the ones that was moving from place to place. Thracian of nomadic stock, meaning those people who call themselves Thracians came from somewhere else. So that means they were called something else before they were called Thracian, that inhabited the area of Thrace, Asia Minor. Okay? Go down. Go down. Go up. The name Spartacus, read that.
The name Spartacus is otherwise manifested in the Black Sea region.
Right above Thrace, Asia Minor.
Kings of the Thracian dynasty of the Cimmerian, Bosporus, and Pontus are known to have borne it. And a Thracian Sparta.
A Thracian Sparta. Come on.
Spartacus or Sparadocus, father of Seuthes, the first of the Oldrisae, is also known.
Now go to enslavement and come on.
According to the differing sources and their interpretation, Spartacus was a captive taken by the legions. Spartacus was trained at the gladiatorial school Ludus near Capua, belonging to Lentulus Batiatus. He was a heavyweight gladiator called a Murmillo.
So he was a heavyweight gladiator called a Murmillo, okay? So he was a heavyweight fighter, just like we have heavyweight fighters today. Because it's always us thrown into the arenas to what? Entertain master. Okay, go down. And he led a successful slave revolt, man. He was putting Esau to death. He gave them hell. And it was a lot. It was like 6,000 people or so. It says it. Read that.
The escaped slaves defeated soldiers sent after them, plundered the region surrounding Capua, recruited many other slaves into their ranks, and eventually retired to a more defensible position on Mount Vesuvius.
Okay. All right. Go back up. Let me see if I want any more on that. All right, get me the book that I sent on Spartacus. Yeah. No, not that. That's Sparta. I want Spartacus. This stuff gets deep, but there's a lot of information, and I know we got to go to camp, so I'm not gonna hold y'all brothers up. You'll see it. If you go slow, you'll see it. I have something there about Spartacus. I sent you some books on Spartacus. Yeah, let's get this one. Read from the top.
The black man sat and waited for the Jew to return. They sat on a bench without.
The black man was the Jew. The black man did not wait for the Jew to return. It should say the Jew waited for the Jew to return. Okay, this is Esau's play on words. All right, the black and the Jew were the same. That's an oxymoron right there. Come on.
They sat on a bench without happiness. They were consigned, as it was put. Only shame was their companion, neither glory nor love nor honor. And the black man said finally, breaking the silence which they had imposed upon themselves, quem de diligent adolescence moritur. If the gods love you, you die in childhood. No, said Spartacus. And then the black man asked him, do you believe in the gods?
So notice they're trying to put a difference between Spartacus and the black man, but Spartacus was black as well. Okay, and this black man that they keep referring to, he had a name. Okay, but they just put in the black man. Come on.
Do you believe there is another place after we die here? No. Then what do you believe in, Spartacus? The black man asked. I believe in you and I believe in me. You and me, said Polemus, the young, handsome Thracian. We are meat on the butcher table of the Lanista. What else do you believe in, Spartacus? The black man asked. What else? What does a man dream? When a man is going to die, what does he dream? I tell you what I said before, the black man said softly. I tell you what I said before, the black man said softly, his deep voice resonant and sorrowful in his chest. And I tell you this, I am too lonely and too far from home and too bitter for home. I don't want to live anymore. I will not kill you, my comrade. Is this a place for mercy? It's a place for weariness, and I'm tired. My father was a slave, said Spartacus, and he taught me the only virtue.
Hold up. What? His father was a what?
My father was a slave, said Spartacus.
Because his father was black, and in that time, that's what they were doing, enslaving black people. Come on.
And he taught me the only virtue. The only virtue of a slave is to live. We cannot both live. And the only kindness of life to a slave is that, like other people, he doesn't know the time of his death. Now the guards had heard them, and they hammered with.
All right. Close that out. All right. Now get me what I sent you. All right, because we know they were gladiators, right? But before you get that, I'm sorry. Before you get that, was that that's the only excerpt from the book that I sent you about Spartacus? Okay, get me that picture right there. Nope, not that one. Yeah, that one right there.
This picture was taken from the book Spartacus by Herad Fast. It was printed in Hebrew, Tel Aviv, 1954.
Okay. Down. Read that.
Spartacus.
So look at this picture. Look how he looks. Okay, right there. Come on, down.
Spartacus. This African rebel leader.
This what?
This African rebel leader led a slave revolt against the Roman.
Now it said he was from Thrace. He was a Thracian soldier from Thrace, Asia Minor, but Thrace, Asia Minor is a different continent from Africa. So why did it call him an African rebel leader? Because he was black. He was a black man. Come on.
This African rebel leader led a slave revolt against the Roman Empire. After killing many Romans, Spartacus and his men were captured and crucified by the Roman proctor.
He was a general,
Praetor.
Licinius Crassus in 71 BC. And during this time, this is where Julius Caesar started his uprise. He started to come up in the ranks because he was a general too. He started to come up and he became one of the first Caesars. Okay? One of the first Caesars. Get me Esdras. Keep that on the screen. Get me Esdras. Crucified, yeah. When they crucified him, they hung him the same way they did to Christ. All right, remember they did the same thing to Peter. That was a method of execution. Just like today we have the execution chair. Well, they don't do that no more, but they do the lethal injection. Same thing. All right. 1 second. Get me 2nd Esdras, chapter 11. You're going to read verse 1 and 2. I know brothers is like, oh yeah. We're going to read 1 and 2. We're going to jump right to verse 12.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 11, verse 1.
Can't give it to you all. Sorry. Come on.
Then saw I a dream, and behold, there came up from the sea an eagle, which had 12 feathered wings and 3 heads.
What is that making reference to? The 12 feathered wings is going into the Caesars. Verse 2.
And I saw, and behold, she spread her wings over all the earth, and all the winds of the air blew on her, and were gathered together.
Rome conquered the whole earth. Rome conquered everyone, including Judea. Jump to verse 12.
Verse 12. And I looked, and behold, on the right side there arose 1 feather, and reigned over all the earth.
That's Julius Caesar. That is Julius Caesar. Okay, and he reigned 49 BC to 44 BC. That was the start of the Roman Empire. There was no more 1-year rule at that time. Okay, that's Julius Caesar. Okay, after Crassus died and Pompey the Great was around that time. When you read about Pompey the Great, all of those people came up together. Pompey the Great, Crassus, and Julius Caesar. Okay. So that's making reference to Julius. Spartacus was around that era, around that time. Okay, close that out. So they were the gladiators. People might say, well, no, they weren't, because what we keep seeing a white picture of Spartacus. Get the pictures of the gladiators that I just sent you. I'm going to show you some more. I'm going to show you how evil this so-called white man is. All right, let's blow the picture up. Let's blow the picture up. 44 to 49. Yeah. 49 BC to 44 BC. Yeah. All right. Well, go down. Look at that guy on the horse. What color is he? Huh? What color is he? Come on, y'all. Y'all can't talk. What color is he? Black. Look at his hair. Look at his hair. Look. Go to the other brother next to him. Wherever you can see people at. Right there, look, little afro. Look at the guy on top of him. Brown, complexion, afro. Okay, these were the gladiators. Now go to the verbiage. All right, right there. I think I sent you another one with the actual text. Nope, not that one. All right, I'll read it. Scroll down so they can see it, so people can see it as I read it. All right, let me get it. Where is it real quick? All right, it says, great numbers of wild beasts fought and died in Roman arenas. We were the ones in the arenas. We were the gladiators, just like Spartacus. Was often immense. 5,000 animals were slain in a single day. Okay? To supply the arenas, hunters spread through the provinces, rounding up lions, tigers, panthers, bulls, hippopotamuses, rhinoceros, and elephants. As shown in the mosaic above, which is the picture, from North Africa, The hunts were spectacles in their own right. Okay. Now go to the other one with the lion, with the head of the Negro. All right. Look at the line right there. This is a line from one of the Colosseums. Notice the lips. Lips and nose off. But look at the hair. Look at the hair, y'all. Look at the hair. Look at the little naps. Right? Kinky, curly, woolly, godly hair. All right. Now let's go to what it says about it. The triumphant lion. The triumphant lion. First, let's read the Tournament of Beasts. Go up. Tournament of Beasts. I'll read it. In amphitheaters like the one above, Romans could see, according to Pliny the Younger, which was another historian, that the love of glory and the desire to win inhabited the bodies of even slaves and criminals. The crowds delighted to see odd spectacles, domesticated panthers pulling chariots in harness, or elephants kneeling before the emperor's box to write Latin in the sound with their trunks, bears wrestling buffalo, or bulls battling rhinoceros. The impresarios who staged these spectacles were always thinking up unequal matches, meaning having a man fight a lion with no weapon. An army of archers might meet a pack of panthers, or a gladiator might be forced to fight for his life against a lion. It says a triumphant lion, brought to a pitch of madness by starvation, prepares to devour a fallen gladiator. In such matches, a fighter usually was equipped with short sword, shield, and arm guard. Okay? That's wicked as hell. Let me show y'all one more picture on this.
Go back to Ephesians 6. Let's read the rest of that. 6 and what verse was it?
11.
Yeah, let's start at verse 11.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 11. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against
So when it
principalities.
says wrestle, meaning we don't war against flesh and blood,
but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
That's all the politics, religions, philosophies, and doctrines of Esau. Read.
Against spiritual wickedness in high places.
That's the secret plots. Come on.
Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor.
A part of the secret plots is all the whitewashing that you see with all the pictures that we see. That's a part of the secret plots. Hiding our history. Thinking that they was doing a good job. Then the Israelites start to wake up and they like, oh, shoot. They can read now? Yep, we sure can. And we're going to reveal every lie, just like the scripture says in 2 Corinthians. We don't war after the flesh, just like it says in Ephesians 6. This is a part of us making war. Us bringing this information out, this is a part of us making war. This is the warfare.
All right, give me the picture I just pulled up. The picture first, and I'll read the text. The picture first. Still loading? Right there. Oh, man. All right, well, y'all can make it out, right? Is there a way to flip? There we go. All right, so this is the Colosseum again. What do you see? Negroes. Negroes. Right? Point to the hair. Look at that. Right? Look at the brother to the left. Okay. Now, the other one might be an Edomite to the far right, getting yoked up by Jake. All right. Now I'm going to read. Now let's read the text to show you that we're not talking crap. Bizarre. Wait, go ahead. Read that.
Bizarre games Bizarre games for gladiators. Hail, Emperor. Those who are about to die salute you. With this solemn address, the gladiators scheduled to fight filed past the imperial box. Most of them were prisoners of war, slaves or criminals sent through stern training schools. The night before, they had been feted at a lavish banquet.
Hear that? Slaves and criminals sent through stern training schools. Come on.
where fans came to eye favorites and gamblers to estimate odds. Now, in the stands, peddlers hawked cold drinks, buns, and sausages.
Same thing they do today when you attend football games, boxing games. It's the same thing. Come on.
The more unusual the contest, the better the Romans liked it.
Because they were freaks and sadistic. Come on.
Gladiators often fight with mismatched weapons. Fought with mismatched weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Negroes.
The same images that I just showed you. Negroes, come on.
A rare sight in Rome.
No, they were often sighted in Rome. Because they were the slaves in Rome. Not a rare sight in Rome. Come on.
Were matched with each other.
Mm-hmm.
A dwarf might be pitted against a woman.
That's laughter. That's laughter. That's laughter right there. Damn, a dwarf against a woman. Oh, damn. They were like, yo, you fight the woman, bitch. You can't. You too short to box, man. Go ahead.
A superb fighter became a popular idol and might even win his freedom.
Mm-hmm.
But if a gladiator who had made a poor showing fell, the crowd shouted, "Cut his throat." And the emperor turned thumbs down, sealing the loser's fate.
Okay. Now get me Acts. Because it said it was a rare sight in Rome. Negroes were a rare sight in Rome. Not true. Not true. Not true. Okay? Get me Acts, the 18th chapter, I believe.
Acts chapter 18, verse 1. After these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth, and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy, with his wife Priscilla, because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome, and came unto them.
So there was a decree that went out for the Jews to leave Rome. Okay, meaning they were Jews in Rome. Okay? Even at the time when there was gladiators, all right? We inhabited a majority of Rome. Get me Acts 2, verse 10.
Acts chapter 2, verse 10. Phrygia and Pamphylia in Egypt, and in the parts of Libya about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes.
You hear that? So we were scattered all over, including Rome. All right, we're going to close it out with John 8, verse 32. John 8, 32. All right. So, Lord willing, next time I'll be able to do a part 2 to this. We're going to touch on Septimius Severus. We might go into the Trojans, Achilles. We'll touch on Achilles. Achilles is Spartan. Might touch on some of the Trojans, but we're definitely going to go into Septimius Severus. Y'all heard of him. And we're going to go into another brother. Let me find his name. Go ahead.
John chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
So we shall know the truth, and the truth shall make us free. Okay? So the brother's name is Yasuke. Okay, that's who they're going to get the actor Chadwick Boseman, they call him? Yeah, Boseman. The guy who played Black Panther. All right, they just hired him to play the first black samurai of Japan who was a slave, who became one of the top samurais of Japan. His name is Yasuke. We're going to go into Septimius Severus and Yasuke because those are the lost legends of Israel. Okay, so we went over we went more in depth with Spartans and Spartacus. So Lord willing, like the Bible just said, the truth shall make y'all free. When y'all find out y'all the greatest people on earth, y'all hold on to this treasure. This is something valuable that cannot be replaced. All right, y'all understand? All right, let's go to camp. All right, shalom.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.